let's celebrate with the boys here for a little bit. Just get into the mood here. The boys having fun with Bryan Lasme. Obviously, he scores the game-winning goal in this one. Wow. The redemption narrative. We're going to talk about Bryan Lasme, right? Came in late as a substitute, scored a goal, 86th game winner, and it shifts the narrative from like just as recent as last week, or in crisis talk. Is a team that can they win? And all of a sudden now we're producing late winners. You have impact players off the bench, which we had Lasme all along. Just the injuries have kind of set him back a little bit there. And then you also look at Kenan and his leadership, really stepping up when we needed him, not just alone in the goal that he's scored, but just in general for this game and the leadership he's provided for this team. When it's down, he's the one who steps up. And so both those players really getting a kind of redemption for themselves in this mini part of the season. Thoughts on the impact that both those players had, not only in this game, but so far in the season in general?
Yeah, well, I mean, Lasme had a couple of winners like earlier in the year towards the start of the season. I think one of them was in the DFB Pokal too, right?
Yes, 107th minute.
Yeah, right. So I think it was, I know there's like, injury bugs and everything like that, but I think it was, a little bit frustrating. We're like, oh, wow, like this is the best Lasme's looked in a while, like in a Schalke, kid, maybe in his tenure, like in general. And then he just hasn't been as involved recently for it, so yeah, to see him, get the nod and, have close to a full half hour to kind of work with, I thought was great. And he used his minutes well, made an impact. And like you said, I mean, like, obviously it's going to be match dependent. There's going to be certain things that, Moose is just going to be looking for. But like, more often than not, like if we need a goal, it's kind of like a no-brainer option to have, like get some fresh legs, especially if it's like an older, guy like Ajay, who's like, starting the 90 and puts, 60 minutes in or whatever. It's not a difficult call to get that kind of impact off the bench.
That's kind of crazy too. Like Ajay is one of the fastest guys in the league at 31 years old. And so the way Mooselich uses him is not the way you would use a speedster in general. It's just good to have that option. There was a play early in the game where Ajay kind of like marauded down the field, kind of showing that pace, but like he doesn't use it that often, only uses it when he needs to. Lasme, on the other hand, is a guy who wants to use it. He's like a thoroughbred who wants to be out there racing, and you got to feed him. And we did this really well, coaching absolutely spot on, the way they use him in that second half. And ultimately, like I think, kind of going back to Karaman, I think Karaman kind of dictated how this game went. His teamwork, his footwork, his vision, calming the team down when they need to, getting people's faces when they had to. There was a point in the game where, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Kurda trying to get a fight with.
Oh yeah, real
Karaman and Schallenberg, and so a couple times their players were going head to head after each other. So,
I think it was like Becker had the ball on the edge of the box.
Yes.
And a defender, Paderborn player, came in to like tackle him and like didn't even make contact with the ball, just kind of like body slammed him, and I guess was laying on the ground. And Paderborn was trying to say it was like a foul on Becker, which I don't really know if I see that at all, but like. Yeah, I think Kurda and Karaman was coming to blows, it looked like, for a bit.
Schalke is arguably a goal of the season contender right now. A pass comes over top, and I don't remember I think it was El Fauzi to Silla. Silla finds it, slots it through to Karaman. Karaman does this like deft touch around the first defender and then sets himself up, moves the defender out of the way, and then shoots it rocket past the goalkeeper. At first glance, you're just thinking, okay, it's a nice goal by Karaman. You watch the replay, the technicality by Karaman. This is an exquisite goal for a guy who we often say like scores these goals, he does nothing, then scores these like Messi type goals. This was a Messi type goal that he scored with his footwork. Please tell me you agree with me on how.
No, it's the quintessential like Karaman goal that you and I are always talking about, which is like he's not the fastest guy out there. He doesn't always have like some sort of wild trick that he pulls, but he just has great touch. And there's times he'll get in the box and take a couple quick stabs at direction and just get somebody off balance and he chooses good moments to take his shots too. Like early sometimes, like in that situation, like the last defender that he was against, he kind of does like a little shoulder deke, like he's gonna fake going left, and he doesn't beat the defender, and so the defender is running with him right. And the second the defender starts running with him again, he immediately shoots back left across his body into the space that the defender just thought he prevented from going in that direction. So anyway, it's just intelligent and it's really well done. And yeah, I mean that was hell of a goal. Real sick, great counterattack too. And I mean, like, and Schalke was doing that all first half, honestly. That seemed clearly to be a point of emphasis from Muslich in terms of what they were looking at when they saw something on tape was they were going with some of those direct balls in behind early, especially. And there was one from Kurachai, like on a dead ball situation where he took it early and Silla was waiting for it and like ran in
Yes.
and like, so that seemed to be something that we were clearly targeting and looking for. And yeah, a couple of these quick counters got close. So this was one of them that ultimately, came to fruition. But yeah, great linkage.
And of course, it's our captain who comes up big for us just before halftime. A huge goal before halftime to equalize it. I thought,
Generally speaking, I thought we looked like we were more likely to score in the first half. So Karaman getting that goal before the end of the first half was huge psychologically because it just kind of shored things back up. And then, no momentum shift at all, really.
yeah, as Michael says, Karaman is fleet. No, I don't say Carmen. Karaman is not fleet of foot, but quick thinking. Absolutely. But shortly thereafter, Jimmy Antuaje is substituted off. On comes Bryan Lasme, key introduction for Schalke. I thought immediately his presence was felt. The direct play by him using his pace. He's the fastest guy in the league, even faster than Antuaje. And in I think it was 70th minute or so, Silla finds Valentevich, who feeds it to Lasme, who gets an opportunity. Shortly thereafter, Lasme again another opportunity. El Fawzi finds him on a break and he shoots it just wide of the goalkeeper. And you're like, okay, he's feeling it tonight. He's buzzing already.
But Rich, real quick, we were using him the way that we're always talking about we need to use him, which is like he comes in that flanking wide role. You get him out into space on one-on-one in the transition, and then he like quickly attacks whoever he's going out and just gets a shot on frame. And like sometimes there's deflections that come off that, whatever. Sometimes he scores. I mean, like that's exactly like what you kind of want to be seeing from him is like those transition moments where he kind of pulls out a little bit wide. You play him and you get him into a one-on-one or one-on-two, and he goes to work. Like that's his entire bag. So it was good to see that he was doing that again.
And I feel like sometimes people just overthink this with guys like Lasme, who have this innate ability, whatever their skill set is. For him, it's pace, and they think, "Oh, well, I got to put him in this and do that." And like, no, use his pace for what he got. Go direct plays, and this was exactly how you have to use Bryan Lasme. He was dangerous as soon as he came in, and I thought this was great adjustment by Muslich. I mean, I think going forward, if he doesn't use Lasme this same way off the bench going forward, he's crazy. I don't know how you cannot, because he was extremely dangerous against a very tired Paderborn team. But then 86th minute comes along. There's a turnover. Schalke does some quick passing. I think the ball ends up finds its way to Silla. Quickly gives it to Karaman. Karaman, quick dink over to Lasme, who's on a little mini breakaway. Goalkeeper comes up, does the right thing, and then Lasme just a Raul-like and chips it over the keeper. It goes in the goal. Crowd goes nuts. I love that Bryan Lasme does, because it's not the first time he's done something like this for us. It's, I think, third time during the regular season. He also did this in the preseason. Gets the game winner. What a goal. What a goal by Bryan Lasme. We win 2-1. Thoughts on that goal? Because that was a really, really well done counterattack, I think.
Yeah. Once again, like quick combination play, which we saw on multiple occasions in this game, and it's just like we're so starved for that as Schalke fans, like competent combinations. And yes, it was great to see that. But yeah, beautiful dink, perfectly timed and weighted over to him, and then like super composed finish. That took a couple touches, picked his moment. I think he had Silla for help too, so probably could have like passed it off to him again in that situation. And also, he's especially a guy like that like tends to kind of go for power a little bit more. For him to kind of execute that chip as well as he did, I thought was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Michael says when in the 70th minute when he had his really good chance at the keeper save, he had a square over to Silla. They probably should have given him there, but hey, he puts it away there. That's all that matters. We win the game 2-1. Now, any of our guys make the kicker best 11. Well, sure enough, Captain Karaman does. He's the only Schalke player to make it in there, but he makes it in there for his his sensational goal. Good for him, and he's not trying to get too ahead of everything. Obviously with now everyone's talking promotion, this and that with Schalke, he's trying to keep us grounded. He's like, look, this is a wonderful moment which we all can enjoy, but we're keeping both feet planted firmly on the ground. He's like, we're not going to look too far ahead. It's just we can't. We know how it's been before. We have a long way to go. We're not even at a midway point. We need to slow down, enjoy it, and take it game by game. And I think that's the best way to do it, considering all the hype now and attention that Schalke's getting, not just in the Zweite Liga, but all around Germany, and people in Europe are now like, okay, Schalke trying to get back in the league. I get people messaging me all the time like, hey, how about Schalke? Look at that. They're
yeah, and I'm not even saying we're favorites yet. It's just, but we're legitimately in the conversation for promotion, and that's great to say. Yeah, early in the season after we rattle off a couple wins, you don't know if it's legit or not. And I think at this point, with the teams we've beaten and the performances we put in, we can definitely say it is.